about the mental and emotional state of the women, and yes, the vast majority of them are heterosexual women, who fall in love and become obsessed with serial killers or men who do heinous crimes. There's a name for it: Hybristophilia. It's a type of paraphilia that involves an attraction to extremely violent criminals or a person who has committed a gruesome crime. Here are some of the most well-known examples. Ted Bundy's impact was monumental, and though he admitted to killing at least 30 women, the physical attractiveness of this man gained him followers and lovers from across the country. And then there's Scott Peterson, who, after being convicted of murdering his wife and unborn son, upon the day of entering San Quentin received no less than 36 phone calls from female admirers, along with an 18-year-old girl's marriage proposal. And then, of course, there's Chris Watts, the killer dad who murdered his entire family and dumped his pregnant wife's body along with his 2 little girls in an oil field. Despite committing these gruesome acts, he's received tons of racy love letters from women who are desperate to see him. And the list goes on and on. So the real question here is why? Some people call it bad boy syndrome, but the motives of hybristophiliacs vary from person to person, ranging from an uncritical fascination with the killer akin to something like a fan of a celebrity to downright infatuation. Often there's a belief that they can change the criminal. Sometimes they see the child the criminal once was and try to nurture that part of his personality. The specific causes of hybristophilia are unclear. Often we see a history of abuse. Women who have a history of sexual or physical abuse in their childhoods often tend to lean towards partners who have aggressive or criminal pasts, having fathers who are either emotionally manipulative or sexually or physically abusive. This type of abuse can get ingrained in a daughter's psyche, causing her to identify with and want to save the little boy within. I also think the fact that these men are famous for their horrific crimes are a major part of the draw. It's an extreme version of women who are attracted to narcissists. It's all a spectrum, after all, and this attraction would not just be to narcissism, but to the dark triad, which involves a combination of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Men who develop this triad have a high tendency to become criminals. Other theories suggest social stereotypes. One of the most obvious patterns lies within the machismo, where it's common for a male to dominate in the relationship. Regardless of the why, I guarantee that Bryan Kohberger is next up to receive these types of love letters, and potentially this is one of the reasons why he committed the crimes in the first place. But what do you guys think?